Hi boys and girls, happy Friday. Today's math lesson is 1.9 and we're going to learn today about a strategy called making a model in math. So what that means is sometimes I'm going to give you some information, and in order to find the answer, sometimes you can use your brain to figure it out, but sometimes we have to draw things out to help you figure out the answer. So for example, if I were to give you five crackers, and you ate all of those 5 crackers, how many crackers would you have left? If you said 0, you are correct. If I gave you 5 crackers and you ate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crackers, you would have 0 left. That number, 0, looks like a letter. Do you know what letter it looks like? O. O and 0 look alike, but O is a letter and 0 is a number. So let's look at our problem for today, or let's look at our worksheets for today and try to figure out what we need to do. Now remember, I said the word 0. 0, you can see here, is spelled Z-E-R-O. If you were to look in this fence, or sometimes we might call it a corral, if you were to look in there, do you see anything? Well, if it started with 2 horses, and I'm just going to draw a circle for my 2 horses, because a little secret about Miss Vogel is I'm not the best artist. So sometimes I'm just going to use counters. If there were 2 horses to begin with in this pen, the horses then, it's time for them to go into the barn, so they might open the gate and both horses leave. How many horses are left? 0. There are 0 horses left. So you can trace on that line to make a 0. Miss Vogel didn't make a very good one, so feel free, if you make a mistake, to start over again. And I think Miss Vogel's board is a little off. I'll have to get that fixed for the next lesson. But 0 is the number that we're going to be working on today. Let's go ahead and turn to the next page. You are on page, do you know? 62. 62 is in the bottom left corner there. So we're going to model and we're going to draw out things to help us figure the problem. First, I want you to know that there are, up here on number 1, there are some hooks. 3 children each have 1 backpack on a hook or a peg. So I'm going to draw a circle to represent each backpack on each hook. So how many backpacks are there? 1, 2, 3. So let's go ahead and put a 3 on these lines down here. Now, I want you to use counters to model a backpack on each of these hooks, but 3 children have each taken 1 backpack away. So there was a backpack here, there was a backpack here, and there was a backpack here, but it was the end of the day, so the kids went ahead and took their backpacks. So Riggins took his backpack, and Everly took her backpack, and Sebastian took his backpack. And so if they took all of their backpacks, how many backpacks are left? 0. So let's go ahead and put 0. Now, if you guys can't erase yours, you could have put X's on them, and I'll do that on the next page so everybody knows. It's a lot easier for me. So 0, we modeled, we drew, and then we changed according to what the directions were for us. Let's go ahead and turn to the next page, page 63. And I want you to know that my friend Drew has 1 book. Okay? Drew has 1 book. Let's go ahead and draw a counter for Drew. Drew has 1 book. I'm going to draw a square there. Adam has a book also, but his are 1 fewer than Drew. So I'm going to put a D here. This is Drew's book. But Adam has one fewer than Drew. Well, Drew has one, and if my friend Adam has one fewer than Drew, that means we're going to take it away. Instead of erasing it, I'm going to put an X on it. Adam doesn't have one book. He has one fewer, which what becomes before one is 0. So Adam has 0 books. I know this can be a little bit confusing. Just stick with me and let's see how we do on the next one. So there's a little girl named Bradley, and Bradley has no pencils. Could be a boy or a girl. Bradley has no pencils, but Matt has one more pencil than Bradley. So let's think about this. Bradley has no pencils. That would mean he would have 0. But Matt has one more pencil than Bradley. What would come after 0 for one more? 1. So Matt has 1 pencil. Still a little confused? I know. The more we practice, the better we'll get at it. Sometimes word problems are a little bit more difficult for some friends, but we will keep practicing and you will get some chance to do some on your homework tonight too. So let's start with this. Apples. We love apples around here. It's that time of year where we can go to apple orchards and pick some apples or buy some at the store. Well, there was a girl and her name was Vera, and she has 2 apples. So let's go ahead and draw 2 apples to represent Vera's apples. She eats one of those apples and she gives one away. So how many apples does Vera have now? Well, let's see. She eats one, so that means that one goes away. And she gives one away. She's going to give that one away. How many apples does Vera have left? 0. She ate one and she gave one away. So she has 0 apples left. Let's go to our last one. Amy has 3 crayons. I'm going to draw 3 lines for 3 crayons. We don't know what color, but we know she has 3 crayons. She is going to give some away because she's very kind and she likes to share. Now she has no crayons. How many crayons did she give away? Well, let's think about this. She had 3 crayons and she gave some of them away. It doesn't tell us how many she gave away. But what we do know is that at the end, she doesn't have any crayons left. So if she gave away all of her crayons to only have 0 left, how many crayons did she give away? 1, 2, 3. She gave away all 3 of her crayons. So now she has 0 left, but the question was, how many did she give away? She gave away 3 of them. Tonight's homework is an assignment that is best to be done with an adult who can take some time and explain each problem to your child. Moms and dads, when you do that, feel free to change names so to someone or something familiar to your child, so maybe they could make a connection a little bit easier for this. It takes a little bit of time. Draw out. Feel free to add details. I'm not a great artist, but if you would like to add more details to the pictures, just so they can make that connection to help them figure out listening to the words as well as manipulating and taking things away, it makes it a lot easier. If you don't want to use drawings and you want to use actual objects, you can use counters, and that would be perfectly fine too, and then the child can actually physically manipulate. So this is a hard one for a lot of the kids, so feel free to take your time and add more problems afterwards if your child's still having some difficulty. Boys and girls, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time in math.